up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.
You are listening to Pizain's podcast.
I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.
Welcome to another episode of Pizain's podcast. I am your host, Pizain the Pizain. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, download our podcast on all the various podcast platforms. We're on all of them. Also, give us a follow and comment on social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, and X. And yeah, we're on YouTube too, if you want to find us there. Just look for the Three Scary Clowns. Search Three Bozos or Three Bozos Podcast. Three Scary Clowns wearing snazzy suits. That's us. Tell you the truth, I don't know what I'm doing tonight. I could give you the normal spiel, day in the life of Pizain the Pizain. Whatever. Ran around like a chicken with my head cut off all day today, doing work stuff. All the little intricacies you have to do when you move into a new building. I'm going to bore you to death with that bullshit. But I won't. It's Wednesday. We went to pizza night. It was really good. Same thing though. Got my martini. Two of them actually this time. And it was a nice time with the family. Good food like always. But once again, it's nothing you haven't heard before if you've listened to at least a few episodes of Pizain's podcast. So I'm kind of at a loss. I don't really know what to do tonight. I guess I could just, diarrhea of the mouth. Whatever comes out, comes out. And that's what happens. Nothing comes out. I gotta tell you guys, it's tough to do this every day. It's therapeutic. I love doing it. Don't get me wrong. It's fun for me at the end of a long day to come on here and just kind of give you what's going on with me and, my take on what's going on in the world. It's fun. I like to do it, but sometimes I just don't have anything to say. I don't know. I mean, what am I going to do? Sing a song for you guys? It's all the same. Only the names have changed. No, I'm not going to do that because that would be fucking stupid. You don't come here to hear me sing songs. No, you hear me, for what I have to say about the news and me and all that other bullshit. So, I tell you what, I went through the stories today. There's really not a whole lot of good stuff, but we'll go through them anyways, and we'll see how it goes. Yippee-yo, let's go on to the news. Well, if you go to apnews.com, which is the industry standard for supposed impartial news, I gotta tell you, when I've been reading AP News lately, though, it seems pretty biased to me. They really don't like Trump on there. Maybe good reason. I don't know. The dude does have some, he's not exactly an upstanding citizen, but take into account of, his competition is a citizen who can't even stand upright. So, and he has his own demons too. See, this is the thing. I know what I'm going to do. We'll just get right into it. The reason why I don't feel as icky if I voted for Trump over Biden is because I am the type of person that finds Biden to be just as bad as Trump. In fact, I find all politicians to pretty much be morally bankrupt. There's not too many. There might be one or two. Ron Paul, for instance. Ron Paul is the fucking man. There's a few of them out there that are, okay, but for the most part, they all suck. And when you when they just jump on Donald Trump and all his, corrupt bullshit, it's like, come on, we're splitting hairs at this point. You got Nancy Pelosi, who pretty much manipulates the stock market for her own gains. You got Obama, who used drones to kill innocent children. You can look that up. Yeah, that's true. Whatever. You look them all up. They all suck. Even guys like Dan Crenshaw. My wife is going to hate me for this one. She loves Dan Crenshaw, but he's also a stock market manipulator. Guy's made a ton of money, almost as much as Nancy Pelosi manipulated the stock market. And it's not like they're manipulating it. It's more like they know what's coming, because they vote on these bills. And they vote on the stuff that's like, okay, well, if I, vote on something that's going to hurt this company, I'm going to short that company and make a bunch of fucking money on it before the news comes out. It's like insider trading, but it's legal. Poor Martha Stewart had to go to jail for however long for it. But these people do it every fucking day. Honestly, if it was up to me, all of these politicians would have term limits. They wouldn't be able to trade in the stock market. It's kind of like baseball. You're not allowed to bet on baseball. Why should Congress people be able to, basically bet on the stock market when they have insider knowledge of everything? It's fucking stupid. Anyway, yeah. So back to my original point. They all suck. That's why I really don't feel bad if I am, obviously I'm forced to vote for Donald Trump. Not like I feel good about it, even like a lot of his political ideals, I don't even agree with. He has a lot of stuff I do agree with, but a lot of stuff I don't. But it's like, what is the alternative? The alternative is fucking Weekend at Bernie's Joe Biden, and if somebody finds out that they're pulling the strings on the corpse marionette that he is, he dies, then you got Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris is about the dumbest bitch in the world. Like, AOC might give her a run for her money because she's pretty fucking stupid too. But Kamala Harris is just terrible. She is terrible, terrible, terrible. And I would rather vote for Donald Trump and whoever he has as his VP, probably Tim Scott. That makes me feel better about the future of America than Joe Biden and Kamala loves, yellow school buses and giving people with non-violent drug offenses, especially with marijuana, decades long prison sentences when she, was a lawyer. Yeah, makes me, I don't really care. So when somebody wants to take the moral high ground of why you can't vote for Donald Trump, that's why I don't fucking care. And once again, if there was any other option, I would jump on it, but there isn't. The options suck. It's like, which shitty option do you take? Everybody always says it. It's the old South Park between a douchebag and a turd sandwich, which one do you pick? It's the same thing. It's been the same thing for years and years, and it will continue to be the same thing for years and years. What are we going to do? I don't know. One day, this is all just going to go away. Well, it's going to be like the fall of Rome. But instead of Rome, it will be us, the US. So, anyway, if you, I'll tell you what, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to go straight through the 1440 news feed and see what they have. The thing about the 1440 news feed is they're a little bit behind on the stories. For instance, the top story is the Hunter Biden verdict. Well, we talked that to death yesterday. We know about that one already. So there's not much to add there. So let's just skip on to the next one. There was a stabbing in China. Why should we care about a stabbing in China? Well, 4 American college instructors were stabbed. The victims, instructors from Iowa Cornell College. You know who else went to Cornell? Andy Bernard, And they were part of an exchange program with, I don't speak Chinese, but I'm going to try to guess, Behu University, where visiting a public park in Jilin when the attack occurred. A 55-year-old suspect named Q was arrested the same day, and no motive has been released. So why is this the number 2 story on my 1440 newsfeed? I don't know, because nobody died. Despite the country's low crime rate, China has seen an uptick in public mass stabbings, including a knife attack at a hospital last month. I guess they like to stabby a lot in China. But yeah, nobody dies. Here's a shocking statistic, though. There are about 700 U.S. exchange students currently in China. But in the U.S., there are 300,000 Chinese students in the... Yeah. There are a lot of Chinese students over here, but not too many in China. From us to them and them to us. I don't know why that is. You could literally make a whole state out of all the Chinese students in the U.S. It'd be a small state, but you could do it. I'm one of the ones that are not as scared of China as a lot of people. Like, you'll look at the news and they'll say China, oh my God, China. Like, the whole fucking balloon thing was kind of funny. China's not really going to do shit other than steal, intellectual properties and perhaps, hack you. We're not going to war with China. It's just not going to happen. That's where they're smart. They want to be an economic giant, but I don't think they want to go to war with anyone. So this whole big, like, China is our worst enemy thing, I just don't buy it. It's some real 1984 shit. You gotta read 1984. They're always talking about how their country is at war with another country, but then you find out that, like, all the countries are in on it, and it's just a way they play like in round robin and who's the bad country. And anyway, it's something like that. Everything's always a 1984. Somebody's always got a 1984 analogy. Here we go. Space travel study. Civilians traveling briefly in space experience some of the same physical and psychological shifts as astronauts who spend months in orbit but return to normal within a few months, according to new research. The findings released yesterday represent the most comprehensive analysis of the effects of spaceflight on the human body and come amid growing investments in commercial space travel. Blah, blah, blah. While the crew showed signs of aging, 95% of the measurements studied eventually returned to normal. So if you go in space, it makes you age, but after a while, you just go back to normal, like a rubber band. That's all we are. Humans are just a big rubber band. We stretch and we stretch, but you let us go and we return back to loose. Taut, then loose. Taut, then loose. But if you stretch us too much, we'll snap. Yeah, I don't got much else after that. We got the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Celtics lead the series 2-0. Yeah. No, nobody cares about NBA. They really don't. And WNBA pulling in 1.3 million TV viewers per game, a record for the league, and triple last year's average. I wonder why. It's because of Caitlin Clark. Well, I really don't get it, like I said before, nothing against Caitlin Clark. I like Caitlin Clark. But I don't really understand why she's getting so much attention. I don't get it. I mean, good for her, be a superstar. Go live your life. Go live your best life. Be a hero to young women. But I guess I just don't get it. which is okay. I don't have to get everything. In fact, I don't get a lot of things. I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but I'm pretty fucking stupid. I really am. I don't claim to be smart. I try. I aim for it. I aim for wisdom. I do. I am a religious man. I pray for it every night. I pray for wisdom and strength and all that good stuff. Experts panels recommends experimental Alzheimer's drug donanemab. Donanemab, finding a slowing of cognitive decline outweighs safety concerns. Is that good? I don't know. It doesn't say. It just says that it can help with cognitive. It probably has like terrible side effects. But hey, whatever helps with Alzheimer's, that's one of those bad ones. If you ever had anybody with Alzheimer's, that's a tough one to go through. I feel for you. Cancer spreading gene identified by researchers. Silencing the gene prevents metastatic cancer cells responsible for 90% of cancer deaths from growing and spreading in mice tests. You see this every so often. Like basically they found a cure for cancer. And then it's like you just don't hear anything about it after that. I hope this one goes through. I think everybody in the world has somebody they know who suffers from cancer, died from cancer, I think everybody's scared they're going to get it one day. It's that albatross that hangs over each and every one of our heads. You don't have to be a smoker or a drinker or, a drug abuser or anything else. You could be as healthy as a horse, running 5Ks, and next thing you know, you got butt cancer. So hopefully I can, this, goes through and they get it to human testing, and we can all have a cure for cancer and not have to worry about that shit because, well, I think we'd all agree cancer fucking sucks. After that, Raspberry Pi creator of tiny computers. So there's these little Raspberry Pi computers. They're like tiny, tiny little things. They're like the size of, I don't know, like a coaster, but a little bit thicker. And they're pretty cool. You can do a lot of stuff for them. They come bare bones. You have to add a operating system to them, and a lot of people use them as a streaming device. And they're really neat. They're really customizable. Anyway, they're going public on the London Stock Exchange, and they're valued at $690 million. I think I will invest in that. I think I'm going to buy me some Raspberry Pi stock if I can, because yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one to get into. Was the Pizain's recommendation for getting rich? Invest in Raspberry Pi. Do your own research. Don't blame me if you lose all your money. Thank you. After that, I don't think we have anything else to talk about. So, as always, wait, hold on. There's some little clicky baity shit. Let's see if there's anything else going on. There's the world's tallest bicycle at 25 feet, 5 inches high. That's like 2.5 story tall bicycle. I gotta take a look at this. Oh, it's not that cool. He even has like a harness on. Nobody wants to see that. It's like a crane with a little wheel at the bottom. It's stupid. All right, there you go. You took up all of our valuable time. Clicky baity bullshit. Fuck you. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys know what time it is. It's Today in History. Former President George W. Let's start this over. You know what time it is. Today in History. Former President George H.W. Bush, born in 1924. Anne Frank was born in 1929. And then she was incredibly embarrassed when everyone read her diary. Nelson Mandela, sentenced to life in prison in South Africa in 1964. That's a good subject to go on. Nelson Mandela. Have you guys ever heard of the Mandela effect? Basically, it's like this thing where everyone remembers something and then it didn't really happen. At least that's what they say. And it all goes back to Nelson Mandela because apparently he died in like the 80s or the 90s. That's what they say, that he died. But the thing is, he didn't really die. At least not at that time. I don't know if he's still alive. He might be. So that brings us like everybody down this spiral of things that they think they remembered, but they weren't that way. For instance, the Monopoly Man. Does he have a monocle? He does not have a monocle. But a lot of people remember him having one. There's one with the Bearstein Bears or the Bearstain Bears. I don't really know. I think it's Bearstein, but they might say Bearstein. I don't know. I don't really care about that one as much. Pikachu, if he has a black on his tail or not. Curious George, if he even has a tail or not. He doesn't. The one that I find the most damning, though, is the Fruit of the Loom logo with a cornucopia in the background. If you don't know what a cornucopia is, it's like this horn type thing. And then coming out of the horn would be like, vegetables and things like that. Fruit, I should say. And the horn is like made out of wood, like a basket weavy kind of thing. Anyway, I distinctly remember that the Fruit of the Loom logo had a cornucopia on it. They claim they never had a cornucopia. And if you look at any of their logos now, it's not there. But you can go online and you can see many pictures of people with Fruit of the Loom clothes from back then, like I think like the 80s or the 90s or whatever, with the cornucopia logo. So why would they lie about that? Huh? One of the theories is that when the Large Hadron Collider, when that was created and they turned it on, that it created an alternate reality. So we remember things, but everything changed. And it was all because of that. It created a singularity. Yeah. Another one is that when Harambe died, everything just changed. And nobody knows why. It was something to do with Harambe. That was a sad time. I don't know. I think the most feasible thing is, what can they get away with trying to alter history? If you say something enough, people tend to believe it, even if it, was another way. Again, we're going back to 1984 shit. You guys should read that book. It sucks. It really does. It's a boring book until the very end. But it has a lot of good lessons and a lot of good things, a lot of things that apply to real life that you will notice. But anyway, that's enough about the Mandela effect. You could go down quite the rabbit hole looking at all the Mandela effect stuff. Oh yes, I've spent many an hour. President Ronald Reagan delivers famous tear down this wall speech. And 49 killed in mass shooting at nightclub in Orlando. Oh, that was a bad one. I remember that. That was I think he was a Muslim guy. He went in there to a gay club and he shot it up and killed a bunch of people. But lo and behold, I believe he was gay. I think it was like one of those, I'm not really gay, so I'm going to kill everybody kind of thing. I don't know. He was a psychopath. Sad though. Sad all those people died. And here's a quote from a nice segue, Wayne Zane the Pizain. Full stop on the 49 killed in the mass shooting at nightclub in Orlando. Now we have a quote from Anne Frank. The best remedy for those who are afraid, lonely, or unhappy is to go outside. Nature brings solace in all troubles. Well, I too agree that if you are afraid, lonely, or happy, you can go outside. And while you're outside, pop in your earbuds. Find Pizain's podcast under the Three Bozos moniker on Spotify or Apple Podcast or YouTube or iHeartRadio or wherever else you listen to your podcasts. And while nature brings solace in all your troubles, listen to my soothing voice as I too bring solace to your mind. Well, I already told you about all the various platforms that our podcast is on, but just don't forget to follow, subscribe, download them, and tell your friends. Say, hey, there's this really cool guy. And guys, on the weekends, Three Bozos coming up this Saturday. Well, recorded this Saturday, released on Sunday. They're really, really cool. You should give them a listen, give them a follow. Find them on social media. Search Three Bozos or Three Bozos Podcast on X, TikTok, or Instagram. You should give them a comment, give them a follow. Say, howdy doody, sir. Z. And they'll respond with a little heart emoji or a little hello. A little hello. Well, that's all I have for you people today. It was a wacky one, wasn't it? I don't even know what I was doing. But hey, sometimes you just gotta fly by the seat of your pants and let things just flow. Well, now I have to go. Until next time, see ya.